So does he even have warp gate research? No, he doesn't. That's a pretty key research. So here I do this little thing where whichever stalker he's focus firing down, I blink it back, and it buys me some time. Like this one, I should have blinked it back, but it didn't matter because I was warping in more reinforcements. So as soon as you see those reinforcements coming in, backs off. So when I blinked the one stalker back that he was focus firing, then I blinked the other one back, it gave me just enough time to get in these reinforcements before he wiped out my entire army. And then he could have maybe focused down that pylon before the other stalkers were finished warping in. So it's just little tiny bits of time that help. So he knows I got a lot of warp gates right now because he sees how many I can warp in at a single time. And he's also sending 2 void rays out. But that's another great thing about warp gates, which I only have 2 pylons powering all of these warp gates. Which if these void rays focus down those pylons, ooh, that'd be a bad thing for me. Like I was saying, it's another good thing about... Oh, what'd I click on? Gosh darn it. Alright. Another good thing about warp gates is you can warp in units anywhere you want. So he does take out my assimilator, but I get my stalkers back into my base. I think I leave some back here. No, I just have those pylons there. So very little trouble for my stalkers to take that out. I should be rebuilding my assimilator. Actually, I have plenty of gas right now, so there's no real urgent rush to, even though I do right there. And the reason I didn't warp in any was because all my warp gates were currently recharging. So let's see, it takes 42 seconds to warp in a stalker normally. And what's the recharge time on warp gates? I'm curious. Cooldown is 32 and 5 seconds to actually warp in. So that's 37 versus 42. So that's a 5-second difference. 5-second faster difference to get in stalkers. Just however slightly slower for zealots. Very slightly. 4 seconds actually. Because if you count the 5-second warp in time, which seems faster than 5 seconds, but it's probably because I'm playing the game on faster. Which is what all the games are played at after Practice League. Practice League is played on normal, I believe, and then the rest of the games are played on faster. So he's sending out this probe. Not sure what he plans to do here, but here's a giant battle going on. Both of our armies. Now that was just stupid of me right there. That was just plain stupid, because I blinked straight into range of his cannons. Oh, excuse me. So that was a really bad move on my part, and probably cost me at least 4 or 5 stalkers. So now, do I have 6 warp gates? Yes, I do. I have 6 warp gates up and running right now. He's got 4 gateways. Eventually, I will out macro him. But he's also getting out quite a few void rays out of 2 stargates, and transferring some probes over to the natural. Because his main is mined out, because he had so many harvesters at the beginning. Now mine is not mined out yet, and we're actually almost even on the harvester count at this point. So this void ray going over here and warping in 6 more stalkers. So now I'm also getting a 3rd base down here, just to keep up with his production. And also look at all those extra minerals I have. Good lord. Now are all these still recharging? Ah, they all just finished, so most likely you'll see some more stalkers warping in any second. So I get an observer here to spot this high ground, and I'm looking for those stalkers. Ah, there they are. I still have a lot of extra minerals. I could definitely have a couple more warp gates, maybe get a stargate or 2, and I'd still be fine. And I keep these guys here in case he sends any more void rays straight into my base. So these void rays actually get dangerously close to exposing one of my strategies. So they fly right by my observer, which he probably doesn't see, because if you look at his view, well, if he would have looked at his view when he flew over the observer, all he sees is just this tiny little blur. So I blink some stalkers up here, and this is going to be a 2-pronged attack that I'm about to launch. So you can see he has quite a big stalker army, And with my forces split up, they won't be able to take it on. Like, this force will not be able to take on that Stalker army. So I wait for my reinforcements. Now I'm thinking, okay. Now he has an observer here, so he knows what I'm planning, but he does not see the rest of my army. But he's got his observer position right here, just waiting for when I move out. And where are those Void Rays at? There they are. So he's also got a couple cannons down here to protect from any assault from down low. Which, I don't know about that. So here I launch my main attack. I focus down a couple of his Stalkers. So his Stalkers retreat into his base. I take out that pylon. Then... So I'm trying to take out these cannons. You see some Stalkers getting stuck in the back there. There we go, I blink up the ramp. Doing more damage. 4 more of his Stalkers come in though. That's quite dangerous. Now the army sizes are getting dangerously close, but I just was able to warp in 6 more Stalkers. So now I outnumber him. And by purely out macroing, and here I launch my secondary assault on his base. I launch this assault to take out his natural while he's focused on his main. So you can see he has his rally points for I think all of these gateways set to the bottom of his ramp. And unfortunately he does not control them as soon as they come out. So they do take damage before they're even able to attack me. And I take out all the cannons down here with those Stalkers I had planted up there. So I'm doing damage to his natural and I'm taking out his main at the same time. So even if his army was somehow destroyed, and here he sends in his Void Rays to take out this base, which I actually have been saturating. So he used the observer to spot that. He's going to use his Void Rays to take it out. I'm not really too concerned about that right now, because if I can take out his main base with all these gateways, which, once again, pylon, should have gone for that. Should have gone for the pylons. There we go. Blinking them into his base. And you can see I've already taken out almost all of his workers down here. He's getting some immortals. That's a very good move. They will completely destroy Stalkers, but unfortunately, just before the immortal finishes, that robo facility goes down. And even if he was able to get out those immortals, just too little too late. And these cannons are going to go down as well. If I was actually paying attention to this army. So there I still got these guys just, doing whatever they feel like up there. Taking down all of his production facilities. And 2 of his bases are completely gone now, basically. Everything except for the Nexus and the assimilators are gone. Now, it is pretty much game over, but he did have enough resources to build a couple more gateways down here. And I'm still attacking these guys. Now at this point I thought I'd won the game, so I was pretty much done. And even though I had kind of won the game, see this sneaky little Void Ray? I wonder if I...
Base is under attack.
I do see that Void Ray, but I'm not sure if I actually see it. Or if I just, yes I do. So I actually did see that Void Ray just at the edge of my base and blink some Stalkers over there. He's just gonna chill out there for a while. And so I figure, he's not calling GG. Gotta have a trick somewhere up his sleeve, and yep, he's built another base over here, got some defenses down here, getting some more cannons, but I got quite a few Stalkers, and as you saw from out here, just a couple Stalkers can take out a few cannons. So my Stalker army just waltzes in, goes straight for the cannons. The reason why I blinked there is once again just to get them all within range so they could all fire. Because there's nothing like having half your units stuck behind your line, not being able to fire. And then he calls GG. That was a very good game. It was quite action-packed. A little bit back and forth action in the middle there. We were both fighting for control of this little bridge, and he was actually almost able to completely take out my forces, but those warp gates just saved me so many times. I was able to get reinforcements just as I was about to lose, at least 3 or 4 times during this game. That just goes to show the power of the warp gates and why you should almost always get that research unless you're going for some kind of early zealot rush, in which case you might not want to I don't know. I can't actually think of a reason why you wouldn't. Even with an early zealot rush, you'd still probably want to get warp gates. Unless for some reason you don't want to get a cybernetic score, because you want to spend all those minerals on your zealots and gateways. And so that was the end of that game, and that's the last placement match that I'm able to show, because the 5th one, like I said before, has been deleted because I forgot to save it. And if you don't permanently save it, it deletes it after like 10 replays have already been saved in. So that was that game, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.